Monday reaction with Roni, and on the Gunning Truth, we discuss the win over Everton. I'm going to do a short video because my voice is almost gone after a bad flu, but fantastic victory for Arsenal. I call this the controlled performance. I thought Arsenal were excellent in the way they controlled the game. Obviously a surprise in goal with David Raya, and the last 2 days it's just all about David Raya. So, about a month ago, I saw on Twitter AFC Camden, somebody that I follow on Twitter for years. He mentioned that there might be a change after the international window with the goalkeeping. I don't know how Arteta's going to do. He's talking in riddles in post-match conferences where he's saying that he might make changes in-game with the goalkeepers. I don't know how that's going to work, but composed performance. Obviously, Everton really didn't give anything. They defended very deep and successfully for large extent. You can say Arsenal's football is a little bit too slow in the final third, but we controlled the game most of the time. So it was very difficult to have a opinion on David Raya. I thought he was composed, he was calm, clearly better on the ball than Ramsdale. Not that Ramsdale is bad on the ball, and from that standpoint, I thought Raya was really good. But furthermore, composed performance from Arsenal. Obviously, Raya in goal, Ben White at right back, Saliba right centre back, Gabriel left centre back, Zinchenko, who I thought was excellent, back to his very best in terms of his left back performance and his inverted left back role, as well as his role in midfield alongside Rice when Arsenal play the 3-2-3 formation, something like that. But it's basically where it's Ben White, Saliba, and Gabriel at the back. Raya obviously now the sweeper keeper type of a thing, but pushing up quite high. And then obviously Rice and Zinchenko in midfield. And then you have Odegaard, Vieira as 2 10s ahead of Rice and Zinchenko. And then your front three of Saka, Martinelli and Jesus, or Nketiah in this case, and Jesus came on in the second half. So Nketiah once again worked his socks off. And then obviously when Jesus came on, it was difficult against the defensive half of Everton. But first off, frustrating also. We dominated the game, didn't really give chances away. But obviously there was the incident of the goal where I thought, the offside goal is also coming into play now because disappointingly, if you look at it this way, first of all, they say that a player needs to be in control of the ball when they try to intercept it. So, for example, Beto in this case, he wasn't in control of the ball, and then obviously Nketiah ended up being in an offside position. I personally think that the rules state that the player that has touched the ball, which allows Nketiah in this case, who is in an offside position, to be offside, wasn't in control of the ball. So by the letter of the rules, it is offside, but the rule is wrong because any form of touch can lead to an advantage for the defensive side. So in this case, he wasn't in control of the ball, and that is why Nketiah was deemed offside in this case. But I think the letter of the rule needs to change there. But it is offside if you go by the letter of the law once again. So I'll accept that one. And then, of course, the irritation of Martinelli having a muscular issue, which is minimum 2 weeks, I would think. So he will miss a couple of games now again, alongside Thomas Partey and the long-term absentee of Timber. So it is slowly starting to pick up again, the injuries, which is something that's always an issue at Arsenal. But I don't think Martinelli and Thomas Partey will be out for too long. Both will be definitely playing in October when the games really start to ramp up. Okay, so still 0-0, Arsenal still pushing. I thought in the second half we came out much stronger with regards to our attacking play in the final third. Things looked a bit quicker, Trossard was much better, and obviously a fantastic short corner. When I say fantastic, it was just Arsenal seemed to change things a little bit because obviously we know that it's physical, tall players, the Everton team. So we went the short corner route and we created spaces in various short corners for Arsenal to be able to then create space for Trossard to in a fantastic way, score Arsenal's only goal of the game. I thought we could have done a little bit more, but I like the way that we are able to preserve energy. Some people say that Arsenal tried to do the rock and roll football last season and ran out of steam. Rock and roll as in you are just playing with emotion all the time. Fast football. Arsenal are more controlled and composed and finding different ways to beat teams, which is exceptional. So not much to talk further on this game. except that a controlled and composed performance from Arsenal. I don't know what Arteta's going to do with the whole goalkeeping situation, because as we know, we've got Ramsdale there, we've got Raya there, and we've got an important Champions League game. We are back in the Champions League on Wednesday against PSV at the Emirates, and then on Sunday the big North London derby. So what is Arteta going to do? I personally think it will be Ramsdale on Wednesday and Raya on Sunday. Can you change your keepers every couple of games? How's that going to work out in terms of what you want to achieve? So that's going to be interesting to see how we go about that. And then also just a nice mention to Vieira, who everybody seemed to complain about. Can't understand why we paid £35 million for this player. He's very slight for the Premier League, but he is showing really good signs now in the second season. Some players does take longer. Hopefully with Havertz we don't need to wait that long. But very good performance from Vieira. Vieira and Odegaard really look good in this particular game, because you would have thought, okay, it's a bit of a small midfield against Onana, Gay and Decore, but Arsenal found another way to beat them in comparison to the last 2 seasons, especially in the way that we played. Similar type of football, but ended up losing the physical battle. So it's going to be interesting to see on Wednesday what happens with Arsenal. First time back in the Champions League, but it just seems like we've got a Europa League group. We had PSV last season, won in a very boring game at the Emirates, and then we lost Gakpo's now at Liverpool doing well. He was fantastic, and Xavi Simons was fantastic for PSV. They had Madueke last season, Sangare. So those 4 players are not there, but they've got other players that can hurt you. I think they got Irving Lozano from Napoli. They got him back, so he will be there. So it's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal go. Upcoming shows, I'm going to do the Gunning Truth Tuesday night show, which gets released on a Wednesday, and then my podcast on Friday. So obviously I'll be discussing more the PSV game in the Gunning Truth show that I record on YouTube. So Wednesday is more preview to Wednesday evening and looking ahead to the derby, having a look at what the ladies are up to, the academy, and then obviously a deep in-depth conversation on my Spotify, the Gunning Truth show, that will be on Friday, looking ahead to the North London derby, also looking at the PSV game. And then obviously I try to do my Monday reaction show, whether I'm sick or not. And then off your game with me and Josh, we'll probably start discussing Europe as well as the Premier League. So a very good weekend once again. City winning, they're looking strong. They got Forest next, so you assume they will win that to go to 18 points after the first 6 games. And then we've got Tottenham and Arsenal 2 versus 4 on Sunday. Liverpool looking really good. They will definitely be a threat for Man City / Arsenal. I think Man City is a little bit away again. And then obviously Arsenal and Liverpool trying to get there. And Tottenham might, we'll see how Tottenham go, because they haven't really been tested. They were tested against Brentford in the first game, and obviously they didn't win that game. But in the other games, they weren't really tested. Sheffield United, they won late, and then Man United continued to struggle. I personally think they should have lost every single game they've played so far this season. They are not looking good, and they've got loads of off the field problems as well. And Brighton looking good. Brighton in Europe this week, Man United in Europe, Liverpool in Europe. So lots of teams are in Europe this week, and then we'll see how they go on the weekend. Tottenham are not in Europe, which concerns me a little bit for Sunday's game, but we'll see how that goes. Arsenal PSV on Wednesday. Up you Gunners, and back in the Champions League.